Okay. Okay, we have 2 minutes before we start. Can you please give me a thumbs up kung malinaw po yung aking audio? Thank you for that, Sir Tibayan. Assalamualaikum to my fellow brothers and sisters. Islam. Ma'am Nawai Abdullah. Hi po. Welcome to Picture A Online Review Center. I am your review facilitator, Sir Majid. Welcome, Mr. Picture Can. Yeah, I hope my audio is clear. Hello, Sir Iceborne. Ayan. Okay, just a simple reminder for a smooth facilitation of our review. Please keep your microphone muted, no? During the session, and please unmute it once I'm going to ask you to share your ideas. And hope everyone will participate. Hello, Sir Rocky. Kamusta po? Right. So it's 101. So shout out to our 115 Facebook Live viewers. Good evening, Sir Ruel Alva. Yan. Good evening, good afternoon, good morning. Yan po. Sa lahat po ng ating mga reviews, our aspiring teachers, LPTs. Yan. Assalamualaikum, Sister Muhaira. Welcome. Yan. Yan. Good evening, Ma'am Regina Torres. Okay. So I think we can already start our session for today. So to start with our session, may I ask someone to lead us for a prayer? Ma'am Regina. Okay. Yes, Ma'am Regina. Miss Torres, may I request po for to lead the prayer?
Good evening, sir. Narinig niyo pa ako, sir?
Yes po, yes po.
Okay, let us pray. Let us put ourselves in the presence of God. In the name of the Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen. Almighty and loving God, we thank you for giving us this evening for the continuation of our review for next. Thank you for the gift of our facilitators and the organizers for this review. We ask you, then, Lord, to be with us, especially to our speaker and to all of us who have this review, that we may retain or gain more knowledge as what we have in the last review. Bless each one of us, give us the gift of wisdom and understanding. We ask you, Lord, through the intercession of the Blessed Virgin Mary, our Lord Jesus Christ. Amen. In the name of the Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen. Good evening, everyone.
Good evening po. Thank you, Ma'am Regina. Okay, I will be leading po for Arabica prayer for our fellow Muslim brothers in Islam. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi ta'ala wal barakatuh. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillahi rabbil alamin. Warahmanirrahim. Malik yawmiddin. Iyyaka na'budu wa iyyaka nasta'in. Ihdinas siratal mustaqim. Siratal ladzina an'amta 'alaihim ghairil maghdubi 'alaihim waladdallin. Amen. So once again po, good evening sa ating mga reviewees from the Philippines. Good afternoon from other part of the country. And good morning din to sa mga iba pa po. Okay. And welcome to Teacher A Online Review Center. And I am your facilitator for today, Sir Majid, or Sir Mads. You can call me Sir Mads. So I am tasked to discuss again the continuation of what I have discussed previously last week. Okay, that is facilitating learning. Yan, facilitating learning. So, yan, hello Ma'am Angeli. Kamusta po?
Good evening, sir. Kakapasok ko lang.
Yes, okay. I'm so happy to see you once again. So can I ask for a thumbs up, sino po yung mga bago? Yung ngayon lang pumasok. Yan. Yung ngayon lang po ako nakasama sa review. Thumbs up po. Natin. Even in our Facebook Live. Hello to our 120 Facebook Live. Hello, Ma'am Melanie. Yan. Ma'am Meldy. Hello po. Yan. So, what we will be having this afternoon is, again, facilitating learning. So, facilitating learning is one of the aspect or topic that we have in Prop Ed. Okay. Hello po, doon sa mga bago. Ayan. So, I am your facilitator, Sir Majid or Sir Maj. Okay. So, doon sa mga bago, when I start my review, I always start with my simple rules, which is I presented in my life quote or teacher's quote. And I hope everyone will have this also. Ayan. May I ask Miss Torres again, Ma'am Regina, would you mind reading our learning quotes?
Tell me and I forget. Teach me and I remember. Involve me and I learn, from Benjamin Franklin. Okay.
Thank you very much, Miss Torres, Ma'am Regina. So this is my simple rules in our review. So I don't want you po na makikinig lang sa akin. I don't want you to be a passive learner, but I want you to be an active learner. Because I do believe in this, no? Tell me and I forget. Teach me and I remember. Involve me and I learn. Okay? the more questions that you're going to ask me, the more learning that we'll get po. Okay? So don't hesitate to ask your question. I'm also inviting our Facebook Live viewers, 140. Yan. So our target competencies are the following. May I ask my Zoom, Ma'am Angeli, would you mind reading our competencies?
Uh, Hello, sir. Good
Yes.
evening.
Good evening.
Okay, target competencies. Analyze the cognitive, metacognitive, motivational, sociocultural factors that affect learning. Number two, organize the learning environment that promotes fairness, responsive to learners' needs and difficulties.
Thank you very much, Ma'am Angeli. So as I said, our topic is all about facilitating learning. And when we talk about facilitating learning, it covers a wide topic to do sa mga naaral natin in our college days. Even those who are still taking up, no? Patuloy pa rin po natin na-discuss yan. So take note of the word cognitive. So we know already about what is cognitive, but what is the most important is metacognitive. Okay? Metacognition. So thinking outside the box. So in our review, we need to have that thinking outside the box. Why? Because Prof Ed questions are mostly situational. Okay? Keep that in mind. Situational. Why po? Kasi nga we are getting our license. So dapat alam natin, yung lisensya kasi natin, yung nagpapatunay na sapat na yung ating kaalaman that we can be responsive to everything that will happen, not now, but until the future, not just the present, rather, until the future, yung mga pagbabago. That's why, as a teacher, we are also a learner in our own way. So now, we should not stop learning. Hello, good afternoon, Miss Rodriguez.
Good afternoon, Sir Majed. I'm working. I will not participate in the discussion. I will just listen, ha? Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, thank you, thank you. Okay. So, ayun, natutuwa po ako kahit po na may work, kasama pa rin namin po kayo. Yeah, thank you very much po. So, our aim is to pass the exam and if possible, di ba? Una, pass natin yung exam and secondly is to top the exam. So, some of you might be aiming to top the exam. So I am not saying that do not do that, but rather I will just tell you as your facilitator, let us aim for passing the exam so that there is less pressure. Okay? Pag aim natin yung topping the exam, medyo mas mataas yung pressure in ourselves. Learning should not be like a pressure cooker according to my favorite movie, Three Idiots. Yan. So learning should be fun. Kailangan walang pressure. So tips for topping and passing the board exam. First, strategy. So you have your own strategy. Strategize how you will review, how are you going to remember the different theories, concepts that you have learned, and what is the implication? Take note, the word is implication of those theories to classroom situations. Yan. So when we say our school situations, so it includes management, the learners, the teachers, the community, or the stakeholders. Second, logic. Okay. So kailangan natin yung logic. Because in some of our technique that I'm teaching, we need to use our logic. We need to always use logic to be able to identify the appropriate answer to those particular questions. So kailangan natin logic. Read, review, answer, repeat. And you have been doing that. You read a lot of sources, you review your sources or references, then you answer review questions from different reviewers. And sometimes we encounter questions that are the same, pero pagdating sa iba't ibang review materials, iba-iba yung sagot. So, paano natin maiwasan yung confusion? We need to go back to read, not to memorize, but read between the lines. Read between the lines. Look for the meaning behind those statements, behind those paragraphs. That's why read, review, answer, repeat. Puso. Yan. Lagay natin yung ating puso sa ating review, sa ating nire-review. Okay? Lagay natin yon. Let's put our heart, okay, to increase the memory. As I said, do not memorize, but rather read between the lines. Analyze. Okay? Ano yung sinasabi ng mga theories, ng mga principles, if we are going to apply that in a classroom situation. It's like when you're playing a chess. You are not memorizing the steps, but you are actually strategizing. Ano yung mga next possible questions pa? Ano pa yung pwedeng itanong sa area na to? That's why when we review, we need to identify kung ano yung mga topic. Okay? And this is the most important. And this is what I want to highlight in our review. In our review, as your facilitator, we don't want to confuse you because, as I said, you have been answering a lot of your viewers, whether online, whether it's book, and they have the same questions but different answers. And to avoid that confusion, I am asking all the LPTs, our aspiring teachers, to have this: learn, unlearn, and relearn. We learned already those previous theories that we have, those concepts. Then let us open up. Let's have what we call a growth mindset. Let's open up. Let's unlearn. Hindi natin tatanggalin yon, but rather we are just going to unlearn so that ourselves would be open again to relearn something, to relearn new. Okay? Ika nga. Because that is the real meaning of learning. Hindi porke natuto ka na dati, tapos na. Learning is continuous. So this number 5 is what I want you. Pag nilagay natin yung puso natin, yung natutunan ko, pwede ko i-learn ng konti so that I can avoid confusion, so that I can open up my heart to relearn something. Okay? So ito po yung mga simple thing na gusto kong ibahagi sa inyo. So our learning target in facilitating learning are the following: principles and theories of learning. I know you have been reviewing about that. Principles and theories of motivation. When we say learning, it is always followed by motivation, motivating to learn. And facilitating learning principles and theories. So, in facilitating learning principles and theories, kasama na po dito yung child development. So, we need to understand the development of our learners so that we will be able to facilitate or unfold the learning within. Kaya nga, ito yung in our lesson, in facilitating learning, this is the quote again that I have. So the first quote that I have is for our review, the flow of our review. I want you to participate. If you teach a person what to learn, you are preparing that person for the past. If you teach a person how to learn, you are preparing for the future. And this is our role as a teacher. That's why teacher is also a learner. Okay? Teacher is also a learner. But remember this, my dear teacher, that learning is a sole responsibility of the learner. The work of the teacher is a facilitator. So we need to know how to facilitate. And this is another thing. Okay, from William Glaser. Okay, if you are with me last time, I have presented already who is William Glaser. He is known for the choice theory, that there are 5 basic needs of a learner, and one of that basic needs is for survival. We are learning, we are obtaining knowledge for survival. So remember this. So pag sinama natin yung learning quote natin na dalawa, ito po yung magiging ano natin. 10%, we learn from 10% of what we read, 20% of what we hear, 30% of what we see, 50% of what we see and hear, 70% of what we discuss, 80% of what we experience, and 95% of what we teach others. That's why in the 21st century learning, the 4 C's are characterized with this. Okay? Critical thinking, communication. The more we share to others, the more we will be able to learn. Why? Kasi yung pinag-share natin, maaaring meron din siyang alam na pwede niyang i-share sa'yo. That's why I'm always encouraging everyone to ask questions so that I can rationalize more. Okay? So I'm inviting also our Facebook Live viewers. Yeah. So I am now conditioning your mind. Now, if we are going to look at facilitating learning, ganito kalawak yung kanyang sakop. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, facilitating human learning. It involves the learning and knowledge acquisition, how knowledge is obtained, cognitive and metacognitive factors in learning. Take note, it is not just cognitive, okay, but metacognitive. Hindi lang pagpasok. Take note, that's why I said do not memorize, but rather analyze, comprehend. Okay, comprehend, analyze, synthesize, evaluate. Okay, that is what we call thinking outside the box. Thinking outside the box. Metacognition. That's the highest level. Okay. Next is motivational factors in learning. So we need to know about the different barriers. So I have presented last week situational questions about barriers or concept about barriers to motivation, developmental dimensions of learning, the different developmental stages. So I said in facilitating learning, it also involves child development, sociocultural dimensions of learning. So we have the different theories that talks about the SLT or the social learning theory. Sino nga ba yung ng social learning theory? Please plug in your answer. Who is the proponent of social learning theory? Sino nga? For why? Who is the proponent of
Albert
social learning?
Bandura, sir.
Yes, thank you, Sir LJ. Okay, Albert Bandura. So ito po yung atin. So that's why when we answered question, di ba sinabi ko po, nagsasagot tayo, di ba? We are advised to answer 50 to 100 questions in a day. But what's the use of answering those questions if you will not be able to identify on what topic to na nagkamali ako? Para pagka nagkamali ka dito, madali mong balikan. Facilitating learning to. Balikan ko yung this is all about barriers and motivation. Basa ako ng motivation. So we need to, when we answered review, it doesn't mean practice makes perfect. We are not asking you to answer 50 to 100 questions in a day in a reviewer to practice you, but rather for you to see pattern. Na habang sumasagot ka, may nakikita kang pattern. And this pattern will guide you. This would be the possible questions. And I need to concentrate on this. I will be able to identify my strengths and weaknesses by answering reviewers. So again, when you answered reviewers, take note, be able to identify the topic. Okay? Be able to identify the topic, especially Prof Ed, kasi hindi naman yan not unless if you're going to answer reviewer na may nakalagay talagang content na facilitating learning or principles of learning. Sorry for that. Okay. So third note, learning is a complex process involving development of conceptual understanding. Individual learners must actively construct their own learning. Take note about that. Constructivism is to construct their own learning. When our teacher will tell us, although ngayon hindi na applicable, di ba? Kasi nasa era na tayo ng digital age. So, pag sinabi ng teacher, take note, ang ginagawa natin, kinokopya natin kung ano yung nakalagay sa PowerPoint. Totally, kinokopya mo lahat. Take note, di ba? And we are not doing the right thing. Pag sinabi natin take note, it is different from copying. Take note means, kung ano yung naintindihan mo, ilagay, yun ang isulat mo. It doesn't mean that take note, kopyahin mo yung naka-present sa PowerPoint or sa slideshow. Take note. Write down what you understand from the presented. That's why we are taught already about organizers. concept mapping. Yan, mga graphic organizers. Because note-taking is a skill. So when you review, do not just read. Take notes. Magsulat. Okay? Magsulat. Huwag tayo yung sagot ng question. Pwede, or nagbabasa tayo, basa lang. Magsulat ka din. Okay? Note-taking is a skill. Next, new learning is based on prior knowledge. That's always, no? Active learning is more lasting than passive learning. That's why I'm always inviting you to participate, especially our Zoom, yung mga Zoom teachers natin, yung mga Zoom attendees natin. So I would like you to, don't hesitate to unmute rather your microphone, okay? Thinking about thinking is important. As I said, it's not about how much you know, but knowing how relevant you know. And what is the implications of what you know to what you are actually experiencing. And that is what we call metacognition. Hindi to padamihan ng nabasa, ng na-memorize, but rather padamihan to ng pag-identify the relevance of what I learned, the relevance of what I know to a certain situations. Okay? The level at which learning occurs is important for effective transfer. Learning is said to be effective when there is an application. That's why Bloom's taxonomy, yung dati nating alam na Bloom's taxonomy, it was revised. Okay? Later on, you will know that. I will present that. Okay? But I will just give you a overview. The Bloom's taxonomy that was revised from a noun to verb. Meaning learning equates application. Immediate application. Okay. So, learning in a nutshell. Ayan. So, please take note of those highlighted words, no? And I know you have encountered all of this. Learning is an ongoing process of continued adaptation to our environment, assimilation of new information, and accommodation of new input to fit prior knowledge. To simplify that, that is what we call learn, unlearn, relearn. Okay? Learn, unlearn, relearn. What we know, dati, we can unlearn that to learn, to accommodate a new input that is related to our prior knowledge. So yung mga natutunan natin dati, okay? Again, this review, the online review of Teacher A aids you, will help you, okay, to understand deeply more rather than to confuse you. That's why, pagka nakakita ako ng mga comment, nakita ko to, iba yung sagot, I rationalize. So that you will be able, by yourself, you will be able to develop the 3 things that I want to be your learning outcomes. Okay? What is your learning outcomes in this review? 3 things. Self-reflection, self-realization, and self-actualization. I will be able to reflect on myself, how well prepared I am. Okay? I will be able to realize what are the things that I will need to do more. And obviously, to actualize, to work on it, to create something. So take note about that. Okay? Adaptation. Experience is the best teacher. Experience is the best teacher. This review is an experience for you. Whether you want to learn, to unlearn, or to relearn. Okay? Malinaw po ba? So, kino-condition ko po muna kayo bago tayo mag-review talaga. Okay lang po ba? Give me a thumbs up. If Sir Much discussion is clear and it's okay with you. Thumbs up. I want to see an active learner. Yeah, thumbs up. I'm also inviting our 113 Facebook Live viewers. Yeah, thank you. Thank you po. Thank you. Yeah. So, thank you. Okay. And let us use, for my Zoom attendees, let us use the Zoom features, yung mga reactions. Okay? Pag medyo mabilis, okay, or mabagal. Pag mabilis, sabihin niyo sa akin. So that I can adjust my pacing. No? Take note. Sir Much is discussing about facilitating learning. And I want to really see that you are able to learn. So that's why I need to have my pacing. Thank you for the heart, Ma'am Janessa. Okay. And for the thumbs up, Ma'am Noraiza, Ma'am Louise. Yan. Sensya na po pagka di ka na-pronounce na maayos. Okay? So let us talk about now the different things, principles, and conditions of learning that will aid us in answering some review questions. Okay. Principles or conditions of learning. So I will start with conditions of learning. Kailan ba nasasabing may learning? Learning is an active, continuous process that involves more than acquiring information. Again, it is not just getting all the information. Hindi porke na laman mo na lahat, na memorize mo na lahat. What's the use of that if you don't know how to use that knowledge to create something? Okay, to apply on something. So it would not be a learning by itself. Take note, as I said last week, the best evidence of learning, so maraming sinagot last time, no? Application, assessment, tama po lahat yun. Pero pag sinabi nating learning, it will always result into change in behavior. Tatandaan natin. Change in behavior lagi pag learning. Change in behavior lagi pag learning. Pag curriculum naman, ang tatandaan natin, the learner is the curriculum itself. That's why the curriculum are keep on changing, keep on developing because the learner are also changing. Iba na yung learners natin. Hindi na pwedeng gamitin yung curriculum na dati ng panahon natin. Yan. Next. Styles and rates of learning vary. Learners may be auditory, visual, or tactile, or kinesthetic. Okay? So dito, medyo mamaya may mga questions tayo about that. So, pakidagdag ko, no? Auditory, visual, or tactile, or kinesthetic. So, iba-iba yung learning style natin. Now, the question is, as a teacher, are we able to facilitate? Are we able to respond to this different learning style when we deal with our lessons, when we deal about how we go on with our presentations? Yeah, that's a good what do you call that, emoji, Mr. Mohammed, thinking, and Ma'am Irene. Yan. So that's nice using those emojis. Readiness affects motivation and desire to learn. So readiness, the law of readiness. Who's the proponent of law of readiness? Hello, Sir Stone. Yes. Good afternoon, Sir Mohammed. Okay. Who is the proponent of law of readiness? Which is one of the theory that we need to consider in facilitating learning.
Thorndike, sir. Thorndike.
Yes, Thorndike. Very good, Sir Icebone. Sir, that is Thorndike. Okay, Thorndike. Edward D. Thorndike. Yes.
Edward Thorndike po.
Yes, Edward Lee Thorndike. Yes. Thank you very much for that. Next. Learning is effective when there is immediate application of what is being taught. Learning is effective when there is immediate application, as I said. Remember about that. Thank you very much for those who answered Thorndike. Yan. Thank you. Yun. So, nagiging active learner lahat yung ating mga participants. Okay. life experience influenced learning. That's why I said experience is the best teacher. So we need to remember when we talk about life experience, then we will be talking about the environment. That's why we have the social learning theory of Albert Bandura as one of our theories that guides our facilitating learning. Yeah. So let me just have wait lang po. Meron lang po akong so also I would like to remind, this is just a simple reminder for everyone. Okay, I would really appreciate if you will open your camera, okay, your video camera, but let us see to it that we are on our proper dress code po. Okay, so maraming salamat po. Next, learning is facilitated when learners have knowledge of their progress towards a goal. Okay. So what does it mean? Applying these conditions of learning, that's why in our teaching, if you can remember last time, I have a question about this. Why we need to present the objective? Okay. Why we need to present the objective? And the answer is that so that the learner will be able to have a certain goal. Alam nila kung saan sila tutungo, saan sila patungo, saan sila papunta. Okay? That's why I presented more than objective, I presented competencies. Okay? How competent you would be in taking up your exam. Okay? So learning is facilitated when learners have knowledge of their progress towards a goal. Kailangan alam natin, bakit pa ako nagre-review? Your goal is what? To pass the exam. When you answer the reviewer, you have a goal that I should be knowledgeable on this certain content. Pag hindi ko na-meet yung goal na yon, babalikan ko. Gagawin ko yung dapat kong gawin para mabot ko yung goal na in this area, in this content. Sabihin na natin, 85%, let us not aim to 100. 100, okay na yun, no? Pero let's start with a smaller value. 85%, kaya ko. Kaya ko na to, alam ko na to. Kahit bali-balik ta rin ang question, bago-baguhin ang question, kaya ko na to. Okay? So, take note about that. That's why we need to present our objectives or goal. Repetition helps perfect learning. Practice makes perfect, but the problem is if we don't know how to use repetition. Repeat ka ng repeat, pero hindi mo pa rin nakikita kung ano yung mali, kung ano yung weaknesses mo. Why we need to repeat? Because we need to assess. We need to evaluate what is our weaknesses so that it will become our strength. Concepts should be presented in varied or different ways. Learning style, multiple intelligences, individual differences. Ito na yun. Dito na siya papasok. Okay? Learning is aided by formulating and asking questions. The best learning is the more questions that you have. Why? Thinking outside the box. You will not be able to think outside the box if you don't have a question in mind. That's why in my technique, the law of elimination, when I rationalize, I always ask a question. And I will ask you to answer it so that you yourself will reflect. Oo nga, no? Pero wag kang mag-stay doon sa oo nga, no? Tanong ka pa. Sapat na ba yun? Na-convince na ba ako? Yan. So we need to know how to ask questions. Whether it would be, this is what we call art of questioning in college. So may mga topics sa college in education that is all about art of questioning. Okay? Yung probing, divergent, convergent. Yan. Effort is put forth when tasks are challenging. More learning needs more effort. As I said, do not just read. Take note. Use graphic organizers to be able to process how you acquire the information. Good evening, Ma'am Evelyn. I'm so happy to see you once again. Okay, so principles of learning. So that what I have a while ago is the conditions. Then these are the different principles, and I know some of you know this already. Okay, we have the principle of readiness. The principle of readiness is related to learner's stage of development. So we need to know about Piaget's stage of development. Kailangan natin aralin, basahin, unawain. Next is principle of effect. Learning is strengthened when accompanied by satisfying feeling. So this will talk about motivation. This will talk about conditioning, whether it is classical, operant, okay, associative, attributes. So this will have the principle of effect. Principle of primacy. What is taught must be taught right at the first time. So principle of readiness, primacy are aligned with each other. Okay? At isa sa mga pinaka-ano ko dito is yung memes last time. Okay? About Deputy Secretary Biel is about the statistic memes kasi yan, no? Na yung statistics ituturo na sa grade 1 pa lang. Why Deputy Secretary will think about that? Statistics is an essential skills that we need, no? Kailangan marunong tayo ng statistics because it talks about decision making aided by data. We don't just make decisions without data. Every decisions are data driven. So, good evening, sir. Is this sir? Ma'am, Lani. Yan. So, kailangan alam natin. So, this will also talk about scaffolding. This will also talk about zone of proximal development. Okay? Principle of intensity. Teaching requires provision of vivid, exciting learning of experiences. How we give learning to our learners. So these are the different. So dito sa principles na to, you will encounter questions that talks about this. So I hope, again, learning is effective when there is an immediate application. So what I will be expecting you after what I have presented to you, I know you will go back to answering your review questions, whether it is online, whether it is from book that you have bought, no? Be able to identify saan bumagsak yung mga questions na to. Ito ba ay principle of readiness? Ito ba ay principle of effect? Ito ba ay principle of primacy? Are we clear po? Principle of recency. The things most recently learned are best remembered. And this is one thing that is one of the problem that we encounter. Okay, the retention factor. Okay, the retention factor, because we connote learning equates a very good memory. So we always equate that learning is memorization, very good memorization. During our time is different from our learner now. Mas maraming distractions. So the retention is a challenge. But if we will involve the learner to be responsible of their learning, obviously, okay, they will not forget that. So intensity and recency are aligned to each other. So if we're going to sum up that, that will go down to Maslow's hierarchy of needs. As I said, three things na yung gusto ni Sir Mads. That would be your learning outcomes in our review. Self-reflection, self-realization, and self-actualization. Okay? That you will be able to see your full potential that will tell you that you are ready to take the exam. And no, 100%, handang-handa na kayo. Huwag lang tayong ma-disappoint pagka mayroong mga cancellations, ano, yan. Huwag tayong ma-disappoint. Okay? So, are we ready now? After all the inputs, are we ready? Give me a thumbs up if ready na. And I hope everyone will be answering on their notebooks or on their... Meron po ba kayong mga... May notebook po ba kayo or ticklers? Do you have a notebook na sinusulatan niyo po sa review? Where you answer? Or Google, Microsoft Word? Kung saan kayo sumasagot? Okay? So habang nakikinig, pwede nagtatype din kayo. Ayan. Okay. Yes, we're G na sila. Game na. Okay. Start. So for those new, okay, one of the technique that I'm teaching is cover the choices, concentrate on the question. Because proper interpretation of the question will lead you to the proper answer or the best answer. So when we cover the choices, concentrate on the question, identify the STEM, dalawa yung tinuturo kong strategy, underline, what is the main question, ano yung tinatanong, encircle the conditions or parameter set, so that you can write down keywords that you can remember do sa mga inaral niyo. Thank you, Sister Mohaira, for answering that. So, meron pong notebook. Okay, Sister Mohaira, would you mind reading the question?
Number 19. It includes everything from simple associations between stimuli and responses or association learning to the development of complex insight as in problem solving. A. Affective learning. B. Cognitive learning. C. Developmental learning. And D. Psychomotor learning.
Okay. So, what is the stem of the question, Ma'am Mohaira? Ano yung pinaka-tinatanong? So, sa haba nung sinabi niya, ano yung pinaka-tinatanong niya?
Between the stimuli and the responses for associations, sir.
Okay, that's correct. So the
Stimuli
stem,
and responses.
thank you. The stem of the question is about, it includes everything from simple associations between stimuli and responses or association learning to the development of complex insight. So if we're going to look at this, they're asking about, the question is asking about, or the statement rather, is asking or implying about a type of learning. Okay, a type of learning. Now, what would be our conditions? The condition sets are associations between stimuli and response. Another condition is development of complex insights, as in problem solving. So I can see there are varied answers. So first technique, nagawa na natin. We concentrate on the question. We identify already the step and the conditions or parameters. Then we go now to the next technique. Pinakita na ni Sir Mads yung mga choices. So we will go now to the law of elimination. We will eliminate 2. That is not a possible answer. So if we are going to look at this, excuse me, sa 4 na yan, ano yung 2 tatanggalin mo? By looking at the stem and the conditions. Ano kayong 2 tatanggalin mo? Sir, si Sir Dennis. Hello, Sir Dennis. Are you there?
Yes, sir.
Hello, sir. Okay na ba yung video mo, sir?
Yes po.
Did you see my message po? Thanks na. Okay. So, just sa choices, ano yung tatanggalin mo? 2 tatanggalin mo, sir. At bakit?
Para sa akin po, sir, itong sa cognitive learning and psychomotor.
Mm-hmm. Bakit mo po tatanggalin yung cognitive at psychomotor?
Kasi po, para po sa akin, sir, basta sa opinion ko lang po, sir, yung ko po kasi, yung cognitive is yung yung natutunan ng bata. Then, ay nung learning about doon sa po. Yung inaano po doon is yung association between stimuli and response and association of learning to development of complex insight. Bali po, sir, yung yung pinagpilian ko po, sir, is yung affective learning and developmental learning. Kasi po, yung cognitive learning po, sir, is pwede pong maging kasama ng affective learning po. Kasi po, once nung bata yung learning niya, i-apply niya po dun sa and then po yung psychomotor. Kaya po yung answer ko po is letter C po, developmental learning.
Okay. So, tingnan natin. Thank you for that. So, tingnan ko yung mga sagot na. Okay. So, what are we going to eliminate? Yes, Ma'am Evelyn. According to Ma'am Evelyn, our Facebook live viewer, we will eliminate letter A, which is affective. Affective is emotion. So, meron ba kang sinasabing conditions or parameters about emotions? Wala. So, pwede. Correct. Then, sabi rin ni Ma'am Evelyn, psychomotor. Is there a conditions that talks about psychomotor? Psychomotor is all about movement. So, meron bang movement? Meron. Pero kung isipin mo yung problem solving as a movement, di ba? So, the best thing that to remove is letter A and letter D. Affective, emotion, and psychomotor. Okay? Ano yung 2 may iwan? By looking at it, we will be able to have developmental kasi it talks about associations of stimulus and response and development of complex insights. Pero ano yung pinaka-best answer doon sa 2? Cognitive and development. The correct answer is B. It is cognitive. Okay? It is cognitive. Bakit? Sa haba ng sinabi, saan siya nag-focus? It includes everything from simple association between stimuli and response in line with the development of complex insights. By the word insight. Okay? By the word insight. What's the other term for insight? What's the other term for idea? Yes, very good. Idea. Okay? Idea on how he or she will be able to solve the certain problem. Parang bumbilya. Ting! Nakakita siya ng stimuli. Nakita niya yung problem. For example, nakita niya paano yung problem. Then nagkaroon siya ng idea. Paano niya ngayon? So, simple association of stimuli and response in line with a development of complex insights. And the example in a classroom situation is problem solving. Kaya, I don't blame you why you choose psychomotor kasi nakita niyo yung problem solving. Kaya, psychomotor siya. Pero, bago siya gumalaw, bago niya sinolve yung problem, ano muna yung nagbigay sa kanya? How the learner changed his or her behavior to apply. You get the point? So, it is the insight. The complex insight to solve the problem. That's why it is more of cognitive. Are we clear po? Okay po ba? You can ask question if you. So I will give you time to reflect. So I
Yes, sir.
rationalize it already. Yes, Ma'am Regina.
Yun na nga po, sir. Yung parang nakakalito yung dun sa ako. Ang sagot ko psychomotor kasi dun sa word problem solving. Kaya lang yung nga sabi niyo na because of that word complex insight. So parang nakakalito nga po. Yun po sa akin, sir.
Thank you po. So, kaya kailangan natin, ito yung lagi na sinasabi. Mahaba po yung mga question usually.
Sir Majid, can I share?
Yes, Ma'am. Miss Rodriguez.
Yeah, actually, sir, mahirap talaga to eh. Now, I think one thing for sure that we always have to remember is that when we say kasi yung ideas, so tama naman talagang cognitive. So when we say cognitive, it involves about thinking, reasoning, parang ginagamit nating mind natin. Kasi yung psychomotor, madali nating ma-identify using our body language, mga physical activities. So yun siguro, my dear classmates or yun lang siguro kailangan tandaan natin na yung talagang cognitive involves thinking, yung using our brains. So yun na lang siguro po, Sir Majid. Ngayon,
Yes.
maalala ko na talaga yan.
Yes.
Think before do.
Yes. Thinking before doing. Yan. Very good. That's a nice one. Sino pinagsabi ng thinking before doing? Hindi ko
Ako,
nakita. Sino yun? Kasi nakatakip.
AJ, sir.
Si AJ. Yan. Hello, Ma'am AJ. Yan. Thinking before doing. Yan. So, yun po. So, again, we need to identify conditions. Kasi pag tinignan natin, ang daming parameters. So, kaya sabi ko nga, I will not blame you pagka pinili mo yung psychomotor kasi nakita mo yung problem. Nag-concentrate ka doon sa problem. Pero tingnan mo muna, tanongin mo, bago niya winork yung problem solving, ano muna yung nagets niya? Parang sa math, di ba? May pinakitang problem, problem. Tapos, nakita mo ngayon yung mga given, di ba? What is asked? What are the given, di ba? Then, you will be asked. Yung mga dating 5-step problem, ngayon 2-steps problem na lang. Okay? So, you are going to associate yung iba't ibang natutunan mo dati. So, again, nandito siya. Okay? So, insight.
Sir,
Thank you. Yes, go ahead, Sir Dennis.
sir, pwede pong magtanong, sir. Di ba po yung eliminate po natin is affective and psychomotor po, sir?
Yes.
How about po, sir, yung ba't po natira po yung cognitive and developmental learning? Why po, hindi po nalis yung developmental learning?
Okay. That's a good.
Kasi po sabi niyo po, sir, sabi niyo po is possible, di niyo pumalisi yung iba, yung kung psychomotor yung napili. Nagtatanong po ako, ano naman yung sa developmental learning po?
That's a good question. O sige, bago ako sumagot, sino may idea? Katulad kanina ni Ms. Rodriguez. Paano mo masasabing developmental learning na nga siya? So, ganito. Meron po ba sasagot? O si Sir Mads na? Okay. Thank you, Ma'am Princess Lai. Hello. Taga-saan si Ma'am Princess Lai? According to Princess Lai, Ma'am Princess, letter D sa distractor. Okay. Letter D sa distractor. Correct. Okay. It is a distractor. And when we say distractor, it has the highest possibility that would be an answer. Kasi, ayun, pero basahin ko muna, Sir Dennis, yung mga sinishare nila. Okay. According to Sir Icebon, it is because of simple to complex. So, that's correct. Nag-concentrate ka naman, Sir Icebon, sa association. association of a stimulus response. Okay? Stimulus response association. So kaya siya naging developmental. Sir Dennis, because of the word association. Okay? Of a stimulus and a response. In-associate mo siya. Okay? So from a simple thinking to a complex thinking. Pero ano yung pinaka-point? Thinking pa rin siya. Kasi nag-focus siya sa complex insight. Okay, Sir Dennis? Satisfied?
Yes, sir. Yes po.
Satisfied po?
Apo.
Okay, yan. So, affective siya kasi emotion. Pag affective, alam na natin emotion. Affection. Tatanda mo lang yung affection. So, feelings. So, wala naman siyang feelings. Okay? Yan. Pag developmental, highest level na siya. Pero yung pinocus niya, nilito ka lang. Ang pinocus niya is complex insights through the association of the given stimulus. Okay po. Thank you. Yan. Gusto ko yun. Active tayo. Mas may tanong, mas marami tayo. Yes. Correct, Sir Darrell. Oh, Sir Darrell, ba't wala ka sa Zoom? According to Sir Darrell, okay, the best answer is letter B. Why? Because kasi what will you use in order to initiate the response? It is your thinking toward yan. So what you will initiate, okay? What will you use in order to initiate? So dinidiscuss ngayon ni Sir Darrell yung idea ng developmental. So thinking from simple to complex. Hey, thank you, Sir Darrell. Pasok sa Zoom. Okay. Okay na po ba? Give me a thumbs up. Also our Facebook Live viewers. Good. Okay, next. So I will be presenting to you the Bloom's taxonomy's learning domains. Yeah. So from the old to the new. So ano yung pinagbago? Kaya nga A plus B plus D equals C. Okay. So yung equations. Okay. So Bloom's taxonomy. Ayan. From old to new. As I said, we are now in the 21st century learning. So it's more of the forces. Okay. Creativity. That's why it increases into highest level. So these are the different domains and these are the different proponents. Okay, cognitive, affective, and psychomotor. So these are the guiding words that you will be able to see or to identify on a very long question. Okay po. Okay, next. Shout out kay Sir Walis Tingting. Okay. Walis Tingting. Hello, Sir Richard. Ma'am Joy, Sir Joycel. Ayan. Thank you, Ms. Rodriguez. Yan, nag-adjust pa ako na. Thank you, Ms. Rodriguez. Ayan. Mantin. Yes. Walis Tingting. Sir Walis Tingting. Okay. Okay. Let's plug in our answers. Yun. Sir Iceball. Sir?
Yes, sir.
Yes, would you mind reading, sir? Okay lang po.
Yes, sir. The ability of the child to conceptualize the retention and preservation of the same quantity under various changes. Letter A, accommodation. Letter B, assimilation. Letter C, centration. And letter D, conservation.
Okay. So, sige sir, Icebon, what is the stem of the question?
The stem of the question is the ability to conceptualize the retention and preservation of the same quantity po na, sir.
Okay. So,
Pero
what
sir,
is
ang parameter, sir, yung the same quantity under various changes. So, sir, by under the stage of PJ, under ano, sir, to, concrete operational stage. So, nagkakaroon siya ng conservation. Letter
Okay.
D.
Very good. Yun. Alam ni Sir Icebon. Ayan. It's under Piaget, di ba? It's under Piaget. Okay. So there are how many stages kay Piaget?
4, sir, 4.
4. Okay. So, ayan. Hello, Ma'am Amy. Kamusta po? Good evening. Thank you. Welcome to the class. So, if we are going to have this, ano yung eliminate natin? So, we will be the ability of the child to conceptualize. So, the parameter here or the condition is conceptualizing. Okay? So, conceptualizing and how the child conceptualize is by retaining and preserving. Okay. So, ito po yung ano yan. Ha? Again, the conditions is conceptualizing and how the child conceptualize what he or she learned is by retaining and preserving. Okay? So, by law of elimination, ano yung tatanggalin natin? We will be removing accommodation and assimilation. Accommodation and assimilation. Okay, yes, concrete. This is under concrete. Sir Benedict, correct. So, may iwan is centration and conservation. Okay. So, the correct answer is letter D. Okay. Bakit? Because of the conditions or parameters or keywords. Yan. Again, I don't call it a keywords, but rather a conditions or parameters so that you will be able to think very well pa. Mag-isip ka pa. Pag keywords kasi, lagi sinasabi na dati, oh, tandaan mo yung keywords. Tandaan mo yung keywords. Kaya first technique na tinuturo ko po, my dear LPTs, is that you focus on understanding the keyword. Na kahit balik-balik ta rin yan, alam mo. Oh, yes, this is under concrete. Correct. Sir Darrell. Okay. So, centration and conservation, ito yung dalawa na laging nalilito tayo. Ano yung ano? So, I know you know about centration, conservation already. Again, preservation. Yung keywords natin doon or conditions or parameters. Okay. So, centration. Yan. And conservation. So, dun sa situation natin, may statement doon that is a rephrase of awareness that altering an item basic appearance does not change the basic properties. While centration, you focus on your one characteristic. Kahit ano, yung lang, yung alam mo, nakasentro ka lang doon. So, yeah, I will not rationalize more on that kasi tama po lahat. Okay, next. Oh, thank you for that. Okay, thank you for the comment. Okay, so maybe there are some questions po na maulit. Okay, because that is a part of repetition. Diba? Sinabi ko kanina, repetition is part of facilitating learning. So pag may naulit po, that is because of repetition. Salamat po. Yes, sir, Darren, no problem. Thank you, Ma'am Chen. Thank you, Sir Iceball. Ayan. Ako, varied answers tayo. Okay, varied answer. Okay. Thank you. So we have a varied answers on these questions as well as our Facebook Live viewer. Sir LJ. Ayan, nakita ko yung mic ni Sir LJ. Go ahead. Sir LJ.
Hello, sir.
Yes, go ahead. Would you mind reading? Active naman yung mic mo. Sige.
In treatment of alcoholism, Prince was made to drink unalcoholic beverages and then made to ingest antabuse, a drug that produced nausea. Eventually, he was nauseated at sight and smell of alcohol and stopped drinking alcohol. This is an example of what theory? Letter A, associative theory. Letter B, attribution theory. Letter C, classical conditioning. Letter D, social learning theory. Answer ko, sir, is letter C, classical conditioning.
Classical conditioning. Okay. So, classical conditioning. Okay. So, letter C. Bakit classical? Sir LJ. So, ito yung medyo nakakalito, classical and ano, yung mga conditioning, diba? Thank you, Mia. Thank you for those who are plugging their answers. Okay, so what are we going to have? Okay, let's look at the situation. What is the sign of learning? Ano yung sign of learning ni Prince dyan? That every time Prince will smell an alcohol, nasusuka siya. Okay, so yun yung learning niya. Yun yung learning niya, no? So yun yung learning niya. So ano yung dalawang tatanggalin natin dyan? Okay, we will be removing social learning theory kasi wala namang modeling na nangyayari. Right? Then we will be removing, yan, kasi tinatanong ko ano yung paliwanag niyo. No? We will be removing classical conditioning. Sir, LJ, what's your answer? Letter C? Classical? Nagbago ka na? Nagbago na. Okay. So, we will be eliminating classical and social. Okay? So, we will be keeping what? Yun. Marami na ako nakita na varied answer. That is associative and attribution. Okay. Associative and attribution. Okay. So, Sir Iceball, you have a chat. What is that? Would you mind elaborating on that? Sige po, go ahead.
Sir, sa pagkakaalam ko, sir, pag may ibinigay, parang positive yata, sir, yun. So parang may bagong stimuli, naging positive siya, hindi na siya umiinom ng alak. So nagkaroon ng change ng behavior sa kanya. Yun sir, pagkakatanda ko sa associative theory.
Okay. So the correct answer here is, so again, yung may iwan, tanggal natin classical at saka yung social learning theory. Automatic social learning theory, wala yun, no? Kasi wala namang modeling na nangyayari. Okay? So classical, we remove that because there's no neutral, okay? Neutral stimuli. So the correct answer is associative. Okay? Associative. More than attribution. Okay? It is associative more than attribution. So yung dalawang may iwan is associative and attribution. Okay? So bakit siya naging associative? Let us look at the situation. So maraming tama sa aking Zoom participants. Meron din tama sa Facebook Live. Yan. So when these two,
Sir,
kasi,
I have
go
may
ahead.
naalala ko dyan sa question na yan, sir.
Yes,
Kasi
go
di ba,
ahead.
medyo may iba tayo ng konti para mas madaling maalala rin ng mga classmates natin.
Yes.
Kasi sinabi natin alcoholism. So parang ano siya, di ba nagkaroon na sumuka siya no siya. So may association yon pag inom niya ng ng alcohol. Something like that. Kaya na-remember ko yung theory na yan, associative theory. Kasi nagkaroon ng effect sa body niya yun eh. Nag-associate sa body niya. Kaya yun, hindi ko naalala, sir. Pasensya na sa explanation ko, sir, ha?
It's okay,
Kasi
it's okay.
medyo
It's
yeah.
okay. That's a good
Thank
one.
you.
That's a good one. So, association. No? So again, stimulus response na ang ano natin dito. So it's more of association rather than attribution. Kasi paano ba natin isi-simplify na madali kong maintindihan? So kung titingnan natin dito, in treatment for alcoholism, treatment siya, no? Gagamutin siya. So ano ginawa? Prince was made to drink an alcohol and given an antabuse. Okay. A drug that produces nausea. So meaning si Prince is alcoholic, di ba? So gusto natin gamutin 'yon. So we try to use a certain stimuli that will mark on the mind of Prince na kapag nakakita siya, nakasmell siya ng alcohol, masusuka siya. Kasi naalala niya yung, uminom ako ng antabuse. Kaya pag yun yung kung bakit siya naging association. You associate a certain stimuli to another stimuli that will result into a change in behavior. Okay. Ang attribution naman is whether you fail or you become lucky. Okay. So paano po ba yun? So I will show you a diagram. Yan, maraming tama, associative. Okay. So this is the diagram. So attribution, okay? Whether it is a dispositional attribution or it is a situational attribution. It is something within the person we observe, their personality, that internal attribution. It is caused by something outside the person we observe. For example, di ba, meron kang laging sinasabi, ay, lucky number ko ang 5. Yan. Lucky number ko ang 5. So, palagi pipiliin number 5. Or, eto yung lucky ballpen ko. Mga ganon. Yung luck mo, you attribute it to something. Okay? While when we have the associative, it is whether it is a punishment or a reinforcement. So, doon, na-connect niya yung nangyari sa kanya nung pinainom siya, tapos pinainom siya ng antabuse, na-connect niya yung dalawa, na kapag nakakita ko ng alcohol, automatic, masusuka ako. So that is associative. Are we clear po? Copy? Give me a thumbs up. Yan, yung mga sumagot ng attribution, I hope that would be clear to you. So, kasi yung dalawang naiiwan, take note about that, yung dalawang naiiwan are two possible answers. But we will go to the next technique. And what is the next technique? That is to weigh. Sino ang mas mabigat? Sino ang mas matimbang? At pagka nagtimbang tayo, kapag nakita natin na halos close sila, let's go back to the conditions or parameter set. Kapag naman naiwan, general and specific, then let us look if the question is looking for a specific answer or a generalized answer. So, ganun po pagka nagtitimbang tayo. So, ito yung isa sa naalala ko na sinabi ko last time when I gave the SPLA review in our school. Ito yung in-open up sa akin when I discuss about the general and specific, in-open up to sa akin isang reviewer. And sabi niya, yun, sir, doon ako nalilito. Kailan ko ba pipiliin yung general and specific? And after taking the exam, the result of the exam, nag-top po siya doon sa exam dito sa SPLE. So, yun. Kasi doon na in-emphasize ko yung general and specific. Kasi yun yung pinaka-importante po. So, let's move on if there's no other question. Excuse me. Okay, Ms. Rodriguez, I see you're raising your hand. Thank you po.
Na-press ko lang yun, sir, kasi pinipress ko lang yung chat. Sorry po.
Yeah po, go ahead. No worries. Sige po. Can you read it po? Pandi po.
Okay, wait.
Ay, baka nag-work ka mo. Kaya ba?
Okay lang, sige, hindi pa tapos.
Sige.
A 4-year-old child asked her mom the concepts of the words vehicle, car, luxury car, and the sports car. To let the child understand the concept better, which of the following words must be explained first by the mother? A, car, B, luxury car, C, sports car, or D, vehicle? So my answer is vehicle as a general answer. Yun lang po. Vehicle. Kasi if we say kasi car, there are different types of car. And luxury, hindi pa nila alam masyadong luxury. Tsaka, although alam naman lang sport. So, kung i-generalize natin, let's go to the point of ano na lang, vehicle. I hope I'm correct.
Okay. So, vehicle. Yan. Halos lahat, vehicle. Sagot. Okay. Ma'am Zelay. Ma'am Zelay answered. Vehicle din. Okay. So, what's the correct? So, what we will be eliminating is luxury car, sports car. Diba? Yan, tatanggalin natin. Okay. So what will be kept is car and vehicle. Okay.
Yan yung second choice ko, sir.
Si Ma'am Myra, car. But you go on with?
Parang majority kasi it talks about
Car
Yes.
and vehicle lang.
Go ahead, go ahead.
Eliminate ko po yung
Ma'am AJ.
BNC.
Sige, Ma'am Myra, go ahead. Sister.
Yan po kasi yung first kasi, sir, eliminate ko po yung BNC. Then my answer is A and D. Then pero ang sagot ko po is letter D. Kasi so letter A talaga, sir.
Okay. So tingnan natin. Let us reflect on. Kasi lahat tayo vehicle. Ba't hindi car yung pinili nyo?
form
Vehicle, car.
Bakit kaya car ang the best?
I think, sir, kasi yung vehicle, luxury car, and sports car, parang specific na siya. But when we talk about car, parang general pa.
Kasi pagka tinignan kasi natin, vehicle, maraming klase ng vehicle. Di ba? So if we're going to look at it, tingnan po
Yes,
natin yung
sir.
out of 4, di ba? Out of 4, tingnan natin yung out of 4. Okay? So ayan, I will not blame you about the generally specific. Talagang ito yung magiging ano natin, no? Kung titingnan natin sa 4 na yan, okay, 3 dyan, talks about car. Okay? Car, luxury car, sports car. Then the vehicle. Okay? Eh ngayon, 4-year-old lang siya. 4-year-old na yung bata. So sa palagay nyo, we are not, again we are applying the law of readiness, the law of effect, and everything. The law of primacy. Okay? Vehicle. At your own experience, ligay natin in our own experience. Gustong matuto ng bata about the concept of vehicle, car, luxury car, and sports car. Would you go right away to vehicle? Paano mo i-explain ngayon sa 4-year-old child ang vehicle? Na madali niyang maintindihan. I will give you an example. Kasi may mga bata matanong, di ba? And this is one thing that we need, no? As a parent and as a teacher, okay, the more na nagtatanong bata, the more learning that they want. Okay? Yung ba nakita yung bata, may umuusok. Tatanong bata, ba't po umuusok? Kasi mainit. Okay, kasi mainit. Sinagot mo agad. Ibig sabihin, lahat ng umuusok mainit. Okay. Ngayon nakikita ang bata, pag-open niya ng freezer or ng fridge, umuusok yung fridge. Or pumunta siya ng ice plantation, nakita siya ng ice na umuusok. At papahawak mo sa bata. Sasabihin ng bata, ay, ayoko hawakan yan. Ba't tayo mawak yan? Kasi mainit. Kasi, bakit? Umuusok. Nag-mark sa bata na umuusok, mainit. They get the point?
Yes, sir.
They get the point po? Give me a thumbs up. Okay. That's why I will not have you if you have it vehicle kasi yung dalawang may iwan. Ngayon, let us look. Ano yung pinakamadali ko ipaintindi dyan? Okay? Vehicle. Again, another thing is Dodge list. The number of words para sa bata. Okay? Balikan natin dati na tinuruan tayo. Vehicle ba kagad yung tinuro sa atin? No. We go with car. Kasi again, pagka vehicle, marami, malawak. Whether it is a land vehicle, land, air, sea. Okay? So again, pumunta tayo lagi doon, nag-stick ulit tayo sa general. So I'm not blaming you on that. Pero again, we are being asked, ano yung una mong ituturo para madali maintindihan ng bata? Copy po. Mag-reflect muna tayo. Again, I'm here just to guide you by giving you a rationalization. So whether you want to unlearn, relearn, unlearn, and relearn. Yes, tama. Kasi thank you, Ma'am Amy. Tama, kasi my toddler doesn't know what vehicle is. Pero pag sinabi mong car, vehicle siya na kaagad, diba? Okay po ba? Copy? Give me a thumbs up. Naku, mukhang walang reaction. Pwede rin violent reaction. Pag nagdadalawang isip, mas maganda yun. Okay, that's correct. According to Ma'am Amy, for the 4-year-old, for the toddler of Ma'am Amy, lahat na tumatakbo sa street ay car. So, ayan. Thank you very much for that relating to your experience, no? So, yun, kaya car muna yung turo natin. At saka, yung number of words, yung vehicle medyo okay? Again, logic. Next. So I hope my simple rationalization is effective for you to understand, okay? So I will not talk about the different theories or everything, kung ano yung nag-guide sa kanya, but I'm teaching you on how to look at the question on the perspective of the question for you to think outside the box. Thank you, Sir Walis Tingting. Ayan, si Sir Walis Tingting. Taga-walis ng mga hindi sumasagot sa drills. And very good. Okay, let me see. Thank you. How about our Zoom participants? Yes, thank you. Yes, thank you. Okay. So as I can see, all of you were able to get the correct answer. Let me just cancel the call. Excuse me. So the correct answer is operand. Okay. Operand siya. Ano ba yung tatandaan natin sa operand? Simple lang yung operand. Okay? Simple lang yung tatandaan natin sa operand. What is that?
Yung reward.
Reward. Yes. There is a reward. So, tingnan natin. So, dito, a mother gives her son his favorite snack every time the boy cleans up his room.
Punishment and reward.
Yes. Punishment, reward, reinforcement. Okay? Punishment, reward, reinforcement. Reward and punishment. Okay, correct. Or the reward can also be called reinforcement, no? So a mother gave her son his favorite snack every time the boy cleans up his room. Afterwards, the boy cleaned his room every day in anticipation of the snack. So clear na clear dito that the learning ng bata is because of the reward. Ano yung reward na binibigay ni mama? Yung favorite snack niya. So naging accustom na yung bata, naging habitual na, routine na ng bata na maglinis kasi in-anticipate niya na merong snack. So this is more of operant because this talks about behavior and consequence. Okay? Behavior and consequence. So behavior and consequence. So yung behavior ni mommy, giving a snack, which is a reward, and the consequence, which is a reinforcement of the learning. Okay po, so I will not rationalize more on that kasi nagets na natin siya. Tama tayo lahat. Okay. So this is a simple on how. So classical conditioning, association between stimuli resulting to automatic response. So pag sinabi natin classical, stimuli and response. Operant, it is more of behavior and consequence. Behavior and consequence. Associative, associating one stimulus with another stimulus. So that is considered to be a part of, yes, positive, reward, negative, punishment. Correct. Okay. But by this time, we are always asked to give a positive, di ba? Positive discipline. Lagi, positive. Wala nang negative, positive. Wala nang corporal punishment. Okay? Hello, Ma'am Criselda Lago. Okay. Okay, so please do plug in your answers. Yes, thank you, Sir Walis Tingting. Yan, paki-number po kung ano yung mga sagot natin. Sir LJ. Oh, Sir LJ. Nasa Facebook na Sir LJ. Hello, sir. Yes, sino kaya? Hindi ka pa natatawag. Yes, ma'am. Ma'am Cherry, would you mind reading po? Ma'am Cherry. So if you listen very well, if you focus very well on my first presentation kanina about learning, you have seen there the word constructivist. So ano ibig sabihin ng constructivist? Magiging madali sa atin tong question na to. Sino kaya? Anyone who can read from our Zoom participants? Sir John Mark. Ayun, nakita ko Sir John Mark. Hello, Sir John Mark. Welcome.
Hi, hello sir. Good evening po. Sorry
Good
sir,
evening.
late ako sir. Pumasok sa Zoom. Pero
It's
sige
okay.
po. Okay po. So, question number 24. Principal Andy wants his teachers to be constructivists in their teaching orientation. Which does he want his teachers do? A, give the meaning of what they present. B, let the students construct meaningful sentences based on the lesson. Letter C, make their students derive meaning from what is presented. And letter D, require her students to come up with a construct of the lesson. So my answer, sir, is letter B po. Let the students construct meaningful sentences based on the lesson.
Okay. So letter, Sir John Mark, your answer is letter?
Letter
B.
B po, sir. Kasi letter A, sir, it's give the meaning. So parang hindi siya construct, sir. More on rote learning lang po si letter A po, sir. Then si letter C din po, make their students derive meaning from what is presented. Parang same thing lang din with letter A po. And then for letter D din, you will require her students to come up with a construct of the lesson. Like what are you going to it doesn't state here the specific activity of what you're going or what the teacher should give to the students po. Yun po, sir.
So by looking at that, okay, so the stem of the question is all about being a constructivist teacher and the parameters in our teaching orientation. So constructivist teacher, okay. So pag constructivist meaning they create their own learning, di ba? So we will be eliminating, okay, let's present the answer. Baka lahat. Basta may word na construct, no? Constructivist, construct to lahat, construct. Construct, okay. Okay. Let us see from our Facebook Live, sino tumawa. Okay.
Mali.
Okay.
Hindi ko na ano, sir, na letter C yung ano.
Okay. So,
Constructivist.
okay. Wow. Sir Iceborn, ba't napawaw ka? Go ahead.
Iniisip ko lang sir, nakita ko lang sir kung ano yung may word na construct, it's either B or letter D. Hindi ko akalain na letter C pala. Pero
Okay.
mukhang tama sir dahil nagdi-derive ng meaning sa what is, kung ano yung present.
Okay. So, kanina, nakikinig ako kay Sir John Mark. Sabi niya, hindi ko siya pinili letter C kasi parehas lang siya ng letter A. Tama ba ako, Sir John Mark? Sir John? Sir John? Wala.
Yes, sir. Yun yung sinabi
Oh,
niya.
diba? Yun, diba? So, dito sa letter A, give. Diba? Give. A low level. A low level siya. A low level. Okay? A low level siya. Ngayon, bakit letter C yung sagot? Okay. Because derive. When we say derive, you are presenting your learning based on how you understand it. Derive. It is from your own. Okay? From your own self. You give the learner the choice to present what they have learned. Okay? Kaya katulad kanina sinasabi ko sa inyo, di ba? Pag sinabing yes, correct. Pag sinabi natin constructivism, yes, Ma'am Jessa, that's correct. we use inductive method, meaning yung students dapat magdi-derive ng meaning or magdi-derive ng kanilang learning. So this is meaningful learning, ika nga. So, kaya nga ako pagka I said, do let us not stick on the definition. The definition is based on the author's perspective, based on the author's idea, or based doon sa kinopyahan din ng author. But if we are going to have define it on our own, kaya nga di ba, one of the objectives binibigay sa define. Pag sinabi natin define, it means give the meaning. So derive, it simply means galing sa'yo. Okay? So you make a construct from what you understand. Okay? So derive galing sa'yo, from your own. That's the word of derive. So sa math, we call it the derivation formula. Have you heard about in math or in science when I'm teaching my grade 6 about law of force and motion? So piniprepare ko na rin sila for grade 7. I'm teaching them already the derivation skills. From a certain formula, from a mother formula, matututo na sila mag-derive ng another formula to solve the problem or to present the problem in their own way. So that is why this is for letter C is more of constructivist. So again, A, tanggal natin. Alam na natin, rote learning yan. Next is require her students to come up with a construct of the lesson. Require the students to come up with a construct. Nakita mo lang yung word na construct, kaya pinili mo na yon. Now, tingnan natin. Clear ba yung pinasabi ng statement? Okay. Now, let's go back to letter B. Let the students construct meaningful sentences based on the lesson. So, bago sila makakreate ng kanilang sentences, then they should have a meaningful learning. They have derived a meaningful learning of what they understand from the lesson presented. Copy po. Yun. Ma'am Zelly said, yun. Because there are specific idea. So, derive. Okay? Any question? Any other?
Clear na po, sir. Hindi na magkakamali.
Ah?
Hindi na magkakamali, sir.
Again, in our review, Sir Mas will just, as your facilitator, I will just help you, okay, to think more, okay? Think more about it. Now, think more about it. And to identify kung ano yung mga nagpapalito sa atin. That's why I am not here to confuse you, but rather to just help you. That's why feel free, ha? Kapag yun, kaya pagka nakita ko, ay, encounter ko po ito sa isang reviewer, iba po yung sagot. Kaya lagi kong na-explain. I don't want to confuse you, but I'm just here to somehow give you a simple path or a light for you to think. Nabalikan muli yung review na yun, tingnan mo yung tanong, tingnan mo mabuti, parehas ba talaga? O yan. Okay? So, baka kasi nakita mo lang, napahapyawan mo lang ng mata mo, ay, pero meron palang idinagdag na isang word, kaya na bago. Kasi pag may dinagdag na isang word, kaya nga sinasabi ko conditions or parameters, isang word lang yung madagdag, iba na yung meaning. Okay. Next. Okay. Ma'am Tin, would you mind reading po? Tin ba? Tin? Chin. Ma'am Chin? Ma'am Tin?
Chen po, sir.
Chen. Sir pala. Sorry.
Okay lang po, sir.
My apology. Okay, go ahead. Kaya pala hindi sumasagot si sir. Okay, go ahead.
One way of studying the human mind is through looking into one's own self, find out his own tamaliit kasi sir, conscious feelings or sensation. A, behaviorism. B, imagination. C, introspection. D, psychoanalysis.
Okay.
My answer, sir, is psychoanalysis, sir.
Okay. Go ahead.
Wait, sir. Feeling or sensation. Introspection, sir.
Okay. So, final answer?
Yes, sir.
Deal or no deal?
Deal, sir.
Deal. Okay. So, letter C. Okay. So, yan. So, tingnan natin. Sagot. Bago i-rationalize ni sir. Okay. So, this is more of introspection. So, by law of elimination, yan, tama naman yung mga napiling sagot. Okay. So, dalawa, eliminate na natin yung behaviorism kasi it doesn't talk about the behavior. Okay. Eliminate na rin natin yung is imagination. So, ang dalawang may iwan is psychoanalysis and introspection. Yan. Kaya, Ma'am Cherry, okay, yun. So, psychoanalysis. Pero bakit more on introspection rather than psychoanalysis? Okay. So, ano yung katulad din kanina ni Sir Tien, una niyang sagot is, bigla, meron siyang tinignan na conditions, feelings, or sensations yung naisip niya. Kaya nagbago siya to introspection. So, bakit siya introspection? Okay, context clues. Doon sa mga hindi nabasa to o naintindihan o hindi pa na-encounter, doon sa mga na-encounter, makukuha na nila. Pero doon sa mga hindi, tingnan natin, nakalagay, one's own self, okay, one's own self, find out his own conscious feelings or sensations. So meaning, we are talking about its own self sa kanya. Okay? Sa kanya. Psychoanalysis is a science. It's a science. It's a general. Okay? Mas marami siyang kino-consider. While here, it is just the human mind through its own self. Okay? Into one's own self. So from that particular conditions, intro. Okay? Human mind is through looking. Looking means inspection. Okay? Inspection towards, okay, your own self. That's why it is more of introspection. Copy po. So pag yung mga hindi pa nakapagbasa, we can use logic by using, kaya nung nag-aaral tayo, tinuruan tayo ng context clues. The context itself will give us a clue. Ngayon, pagka may nabasa tayo, balikan natin, i-associate natin, okay, parehas. So nakita ko, yung napiling sagot naman is yung two possible answer. Pero the best one to define this is introspection because looking through oneself, understanding your own conscious feelings or sensations. Good. Shout out to our 124 Facebook Live viewers. Don't forget to plug in your answer to win a chance of your lifetime. Yan. Okay. Let's move on. Again, I'm inviting our Facebook Live viewers or our 120 Facebook Live viewers to plug in your answer. Okay. Let us see. Wow. Very good. My dear Zoom participants, thank you for being active participants. Okay. So lowest level. Okay, lowest level, di ba? Yes, correct. Remembering, lowest level. Okay, so the correct answer is letter D. Identify the characters of the story. So the word identify. Okay. So give and identify are are low level. But let us look at on that. Bakit letter D? To give available resources that could be recycled into useful things. So meaning there is no source. There is no source. Yung bata yung magbibigay. So it's more of a wide variety, no? While here, to identify the character of the story, there is a certain material wherein yun yung paghuhugutan mo lang, yun lang yung paghuhugutan mo, no expected answer. Meaning, this is more of a convergent, no? This is a more convergent objective rather than diversion. That's why pagka nag-eliminate tayo, hindi natin i-eliminate na natin si differentiate kasi it involves two process. In order to differentiate, we need to comparison and abstraction. Comparison and abstraction. That is what do we mean by differentiate. Okay? Comparison, we compare what are their similarities and we abstract what is their main differences. So that's why pag differentiate, malalim na siya kasi comparison and abstraction. Okay, very good. Perfect. Thank you for those who are answering our Facebook Live. Okay, so our Facebook Live viewers, don't forget to write down the number po na sinasagot niyo. Okay? Thank you, Ma'am Evelyn. Thank you, Ma'am Lani, Ma'am Zara. Ayan. Thank you, Ma'am Moira, Sister Moira. Okay. Ayan. Ayan, may valid answer pa rin. Okay. So, in the collaborative approach, ayan, I think alam na natin to, no? So, let's see. Before I rationalize, tingnan natin. Okay. It's more of feedbacking. Okay. Collaboration. Okay. So, listening, you clarify, you present, you solve a problem, and it will always be followed by feedback. So, when we eliminate, ano kaya i-eliminate natin? Tingnan natin kung tama yung mga napili nating answer. Kahit hindi tayo tumama, tingnan natin kung ano yung, kung tumama tayo doon sa sinagot natin. Okay, ano yung dapat i-eliminate? So, okay. So, we left assess and feedback. Okay. Now, why we have the answer feedback? Kasi, if you're going to look at it, okay, in a collaborative approach, collaboration will talk about how everyone, hindi lang isa lang yung nagsasalita, di ba? Feedbacking, sharing ideas. And when you give feedback, you are already assessing, evaluating, and negotiating. So yung tatlo na choices, dala na kagad ni feedbacking. Okay, dala na ni feedbacking kagad. Kung bakit siya yung pinaka the best answer. Kasi pag nagbigay ka ng feedback, you will be able to assess your group already. You will be able to evaluate already your group, your part, your collaborations. Tulad ng ginagawa natin ngayon, I am your facilitator, you are my students. When I ask your interpretations, then we are having now a feedback. Kaya sinasabi ko kung bakit dito kayo, sorry, okay, sorry, but my sorry. Yan. So again, learning outcomes na gusto ko lang naman is to self-reflect, self-realize, self-reflect, self-realize, and self-actualize. Okay? So whether any of those, again, wag natin pong kakalimutan yung law of elimination, kasi makakatulong sa atin yan. To have 85% of the chance to get the correct answer. Yun, Sir Walis Tingting. Okay. Okay, we have valid answer. Okay. Thank you, Sir John Mark. Thank you, Ms. Rodriguez. Sir Icebone, thank you. Okay. Thank you, Ma'am Ella, Ma'am Maricel, Sir De La Cruz, Sir Ray. Thank you. Okay, let us see. Okay, before that, okay, Ma'am Cherry. Ma'am Cherry, are you there? Would you mind reading the question po?
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Mrs. Corpus always makes sure that her preschool classroom is well organized and clean. She puts up interesting and colorful visual on the bulletin boards. What principle of motivation was applied? A. Incentives motivate learning. B. Internal motivation is longer lasting and more self-directive than is external motivation. C. Motivation is enhanced by the way in which instructional materials is organized. D. The environment can be used to focus the student attention on what needs to be learned. My answer is letter C.
Letter C. Okay.
From the,
The-
sir, yung sa bulletin boards na yung parang siya, yung, kaya letter C yung sagot ko dahil sa well organized and clean up. She puts a colorful visual on the bulletin boards. So letter C dahil sa instructional material kasi ang bulletin boards is instructional material. Tama ba, sir?
Okay, okay. That's a good one. Thank you for that, Ma'am Shari. Okay, so I will present the answer. So valid answer din tayo dito, no? Okay. So the correct answer is letter D. Okay. So ano yung i-eliminate natin? Eliminate na natin letter, we will be eliminating letter A, definitely. There's no incentives, okay? Then we will be also eliminating letter B, okay? Now, may iwan yung dalawa na pinili yung sagot, okay? C and D. Now, ano yung the best na sagot? Bakit si letter D? So, if we are going to focus on the question, katulad ng paliwanag ni Ma'am Sherry, she focus on the interesting and colorful visual on the bulletin board. Di ba, Ma'am Sherry? Kaya yun yung nagbigay sa'yo ng idea na pipiliin ko si letter C. Pero yung ba yung pinaka-stem ng question? Yung ba yung pinaka ano? So, ano yung pinaka-stem ng question? Balikan mo yung question. Mrs. Corpus always make sure that her preschool classroom is well organized and clean. Ano yung mini-make sure niya to motivate the learner? Is yung preschool classroom. And how she ensure that the learner will be motivated in that preschool classroom is by putting up interesting and colorful visuals on the bulletin boards. And this is one of the principle in putting visuals in a bulletin board. Dapat ang visuals na nilalagay natin sa classroom is related to the lesson. Okay? Kaya sinasuggest nga dapat quarterly pinapalitan mo yung nasa bulletin board. Kung ano yung lesson mo ng first quarter, yun dapat yung nasa bulletin board mo. Hindi ka maglalagay ng kahit ano. Now, on my case, kasi grade 6 ako, so syempre yung grade 6, yung mga batang sa mga lower, mas gusto nila yung marami, di ba? Maraming nakikita. Fascinated sila doon sa mga nakikita nila. Well, pagka-upper na, medyo nagiging ano na yan, hindi na nila gusto yung maraming ano. That's why on my grade 6, I am more of putting quotes. Puro quotes yung nasa wall. Then sa bulletin board, yun, doon na nakalagay yung kanilang, yung mga lessons, concepts related to the lesson for the quarter, first, second, third, or fourth. Then, meron ding board wall and may best work. So, yun yung pinakamagandang ano. So, here, that's why, again, pag nag-focus ka doon sa isang area lang, talagang pipiliin mo ngayon yung instructional materials are organized kasi you look at the colorful and interesting visuals in the bulletin board. Pero ang pinokus ng tanong is, ano yung nag-motivate sa learner na in-ensure ni Miss Corpus na nag-a-apply siya ng principle. Ano po yun? That is the preschool classroom niya. That's why we are talking here that the environment serves as a motivation already. Okay? The environment serves already a motivation. Kaya nga, pag sa lower, maraming nilalagay ng mga colorful to attract their attention. Pero pagka marami, masakit din sa mata. Diba? That's why, sinuggest, binago na iba, na kailangan related sa lesson yung nakalagay sa bulletin boards mo or sa classroom. Yan. Yes, classroom is well organized and clean. So, yun po. So, again, we need to really identify the STEM so that we will be able, yan, kaya pinapakita ko po ngayon, so binago ko na yung presentation ko, pina-emphasize ko na yung para if ever na nawala, okay, if ever wala yung letter D, naiwan si C, then pwede mong piliin ngayon si C kasi merong conditions doon sa choices that is aligned to the statement, to the stem of the question. It must be balanced, yes. Pag masyadong over, ayan, kailangan balance sila. Correct? So these are questions that I get from the review material, yung upload ni Teacher A. So may mga questions doon na nagkakaroon ng rebut. So I would like to rationalize it for you. Okay? And I hope my rationalization will be able to help you. Again, pa-join sa Zoom. My apologies, Sir Dennis, kasi I'm not using my Facebook in the laptop. I'm using in the cell phone po. So kung sino po yung pwedeng magbigay ng link kay Sir Dennis, pabigay na lang po. And while you are focusing on the question, I would like to announce, coming from Teacher A Online Review Center, that the final coaching would be exclusive to enrolled students of Teacher A Online Review Center. So that announcement is coming from Teacher A Online Review Center. So please do enlist your name. Please contact Teacher A. Yun. Okay. Yes. Yan. So dito sa mga conditioning tayo. So looking at this question, this talks about learning presented in a conditioning, by conditioning. Okay. So that's why ang makikita natin, maiiwan natin dyan is definitely 2 that talks about conditioning. Ngayon, dito ngayon tayo mag-weigh kung kailan mo sasabihin ganito at kailan mo ganun. And you go back, pwede niyong balikan yung after my explanation, you can go back to the model of the classical conditioning and operant conditioning. Okay? Let's see. So Alvin is a transparent, feel uneasy with his new school. His teacher is very accommodating, warm, and caring. Alvin felt comfortable with the teacher display of genuine warmth. The teacher is consistent in his manner, and Alvin began to associate school with the teacher's warmth, which theory is being illustrated. Okay. So, the correct answer, yan. Tingnan natin. Sir Janatul, Princess Lai. Okay. So, the correct answer is, tingnan natin. Sino pa? Yan, may nagpa-plug in pa. Sir Joe. Okay. Yan. So, it's more of operant. So, ipapaliwanag na, sir. So, eliminate muna natin. So, we will be removing meaningful learning and observational learning. So, may iwan yung dalawa. Yung dalawa na sinagot nyo. Okay? A, classical, and D, operant. Bakit siya operant? Yes, Ma'am Evelyn, correct. Eliminate B and C. Bakit siya naging operant? Bakit kaya sinagot ni Ma'am Regina at ni Sir John Mark classical? Ma'am Regina. Ma'am Regina? Hello po.
Yes, sir.
Yes, would you mind to share your justification or rationalization? Bakit classical?
Classical versus operant. Sabi niyo po kasing sa operant kanina is more on reward or punishment or ano. So wala naman ako nakita reward dyan. So I answered classical.
Okay. Kaya classical. Okay.
Reinforcement.
Okay. Yes. Yun, binakita ako na gano'n. Go ahead. Sino po yun? Nag-on ng mic. Go ahead. Go ahead. Napindot ba? Okay. So, let me just close that. Mga tumatawag. Okay. So, why? So, again, ayan, sabi ko, dito tayo dalawa. Kasi itong dalawa yung pinaka nakakalito, classical and operant. Okay. So, balikan natin yung ano. Okay. Pag sinabi natin classical, there is a connection between stimuli and a response. Okay? While pag sinabi natin operant, it is actually, pag sinabi natin operant, merong association and classical. Magkasama yung operant, magkasama yung association and classical. Okay. So, again, pag sinabi natin operant, it also involves classical. Nandun din yung classical. Okay. So sabi ng mga iba sa Zoom, bakit po pinili ang operant? Because it is a reinforcement. There's no reward, but there is a reinforcement. Correct. Okay. Now, again, ulitin ko. Bakit operant siya? Because when we say operant, it also includes association and classical. Yan. And another thing, correct, Sir 10. Ito yung tatandaan natin, ha? Balikan niyo ulit yung model. Model ng classical and operant. Kasi hindi naka-direct kasi yun. Pero pag in-analyze mo, ito yung kanyang main difference. Pag sinabi natin classical, stimuli, it is concerned with the stimuli in the given response. While pag sinabi natin operant, it is behavior and consequence. Behavior and consequence. So dito, kung titingnan natin yung situation, the teacher, okay, the behavior of the teacher being accommodating, warm, and caring, okay, because of the behavior, again, operant is behavior and consequence. Okay, the relationship between behavior and consequence. While classical is more of stimuli and response. So dito, pag consider mo si teacher as a stimuli, anong ginawa ni teacher that result into the change in behavior of the student? So kung si teacher lang yung i-consider mo, magiging classical siya. Pero clearly sinabi ng question, teacher being accommodating, warm, and caring. So it is the behavior of the teacher that gives these particular students a certain action or consequence of an action that results into a reinforcement. Maliwanag po ba?
Opo, sir.
Maliwanag
Can
po.
you give us example of classical conditioning po?
Okay. So pag classical conditioning, as I said, pag classical conditioning, it is more of a stimuli. Okay? Ibig sabihin, an involuntary stimuli, a neutral stimuli. Nasa paligid mo lang siya. Okay? Nag-stay lang siya doon. Pero meron kang isang learning or behavior na ina-associate mo sa kanya. Kapag nakikita mo siya, katulad doon sa Ivan Pavlo, if I'm not wrong about the classical, yung sa bell, di ba? Yung bell, di ba? Yung bell, do you know about that model? That bell, alam niyo po ba yung bell? The bell is neutral. Okay? Pero yung bell na yun na neutral, okay? Ginamit niya to induce a learning by creating a situation. So it is just a stimuli and a response. While pag sinabi nating operant, okay, operant, it involves, nandun yung classical, nandun din yung association. And it's more of, kaya sinasabi ko sa inyo, the main difference, behavior versus behavior and consequence. Behavior and consequence, not just stimuli. Okay po ba, Ma'am Regine? Okay na yon?
Okay po, sir. Thank you po.
Okay po.
Very clear
So,
po.
yun ang aanin natin. So, pwede natin balikan again yung model. Kasi pag tinignan mo lang yung model, yung UCS, CS, pag hindi mo naintindihan yung ano, hindi mo makakagets na, stimuli response lang siya. Okay? While, parang katulad ng, alimbawa, di ba? Bakit gusto ng bata yung subject? Halimbawa, math. Bakit gusto ng bata yung subject na math? It is not because of the subject, but it's because of the teacher. Paano i-execute ng teacher yung subject na yun na alam niya, ang hirap ng math. Kondisyon yung mind, mahirap ng math. Pero nakita ko yung behavior ng teacher ko, active. Use a gamified approach. So yun. So nagbabago ngayon tingin mo. Okay. So the behavior will result into a change in behavior or consequence. So reinforcement. So kahit wala siyang reward, tingnan natin yung reinforcement. Reinforcement. Okay? So ito pa yung, I will end up with this one question. Ito rin isang question na pinagtatalunan doon. So I would like to rationalize it for you. Oh, sumobra. Ayan, sige. So, dahil sumobra, papakita din ni sir. Sumobra ng click. Yun. So, my apologies. Sumobra ng click si sir. Yun. Yan. So, in this case, dito ngayon, ito yung choices wherein yung dalawang choices ay pwedeng maging possible answers talaga. Okay? So, maging possible answers talaga. Kaya doon sa review, doon sa in-upload ni Teacher A na PRC, di ba may mga guide questions doon? May mga guide questions doon. So, tinignan ko doon yung medyo may mga questions or rebut, kaya yun yung ginagamit ko po sa inyo to review, to rationalize it for you. Okay? So, dito, titingnan natin, ayan, akala ni Sister Muhaira, visual. Okay. So, dito, Lucy easily learns a lesson when she is working. So, the conditions there is, or the parameter there is working. Yun yung titingnan mo, hands-on. Now, tactile learner is also considered to be kinesthetic. And there's actually a slight difference between this, no? Kasi again, kinesthetic and tactile. So yun yung dalawang may iwan. Okay? Kinesthetic and tactile. Minsan sabihin nila kinesthetic tactile or tactile kinesthetic. So dito, mas pinagtatalunan nila doon kasi tactile or kinesthetic. Okay. So mas ang ano dito is kinesthetic. Although may rationalization doon coming from a statement based on a certain reference, pero this is more kinesthetic. Bakit? Kasi working with laboratory, hands-on. Okay? So sabi ng mga theorists, kinesthetic and tactile parehas, pero paano malalaman kinesthetic? It involves a large number of muscles. Okay? A large number of muscles. While pag tactile, it is more of the sense of touch. So dito, sa situation na to, sinabi working. So it is not just the sense of touch or the sensation, but rather the execution of the equipment. Are we clear po? So that's why this is a kinesthetic. Ulitin ko. Etong dalawa, pwedeng possible answer. Pero balikan mo yung kasi tactile and kinesthetic are the same, sabi ng iba. Pero in-explain na nila. Ito ang pagkakaiba. Pag kinesthetic, large number of muscles are involved like running, dancing, and everything. Pag tactile, it's more of the sense of touch. You learn by touching that object. So that is tactile. So dito, again, she is working with the laboratory equipment, hands-on performance, using a large number of muscles, hands, hindi lang hands, your eyes, and your nerves, ika nga. Okay? So, I hope that's clear. So, hindi siya visual, ha? Kasi nandun yung conditions na working. Okay? Yes, correct, Ma'am Jessa. So, ulitin ko. Ito yung dalawa, ito yung question na yung dalawang possible answer, pwede talagang maging sagot. Kasi kinesthetic or tactile. Pero, nakalagay, working. So, pag tactile, kinesthetic, large number of muscles are involved. Tactile sensation, the sense of touch. Okay? Your sensation is the source of your learning. Yes, is Ma'am Meldy. Ayan. Matong maayong akin. Okay. Ayan. So, again, that is, I'm giving you my rationalization kasi gusto ko i-click. Kasi nga, ulitin ko po, yung kinesthetic at tactile are the same, pero para ma-clear out natin yan, pag sinabi natin kinesthetic, large muscles are involved. Okay? So, you are working on it. You're doing it. You're applying it. Pag tactile, it is your sensation. For example, you touch the object, you illustrate that is tactile. You read a book, that is tactile. Okay. So I hope everyone enjoy our session for today. So can I have a heart? Kung okay po ba yung ating session for today? And thank you. So again, Sir Mans, as your facilitator, just wish to help you, okay, to look at the other side on how to answer questions. Yan, sabi ni Ma'am Melody. Ayan. Kinesthetic, yes, I will stay with that. That is, kinesthetic po talaga siya. Pero bakit sa iba tactile? Kasi, kino-consider kasi talaga kinesthetic or tactile. Okay, kinesthetic or tactile are the same, kaya binigyan na ng clear boundary or conditions or parameters that when we say kinesthetic, it involves a large number of muscles. Okay? So it involves movement, hands-on, performance. So yun yung tatandaan natin. Okay. Yun. Hello, Ma'am Elizabeth. Yes, thank you. Yes, it's okay. Siguro meron pang next session for me to be with you. So, tingnan natin ulit. Okay? Yun, Ma'am Lani. Thank you very much for that compliment. Yes. As I said, that's why the first technique, so I will, to end up my discussion, the technique that I'm teaching or the strategy is to cover the choices, focus on the question, underline the stem, encircle the conditions or parameters, then law of elimination, eliminate two that will not answer the question, and weigh. Pag naiwan yung dalawang possible answer, weigh whether the question talks about general idea or a specific idea. Yun. So, yun po. Tuwing kailan po kayo nagla-live? Teacher A Online Review Center is all nagla-live po siya with different facilitators. So, just keep in touch with the Teacher A Facebook page. And once again, I would like to remind that for the final coaching, it would be exclusive. Coming from the Teacher A Online Review Center, it would be exclusive for those who are enrolled. So if you want to be part of our final coaching, please do enlist your name, okay, or enroll directly to Teacher A. Okay, so paki-message na lang po si Teacher A. Yan. Let me end up my sharing. When ang next live po? How much po? Just please contact Teacher A for the rate ng review. Yes, good evening, Sir Chris. Okay. So, yan. Let me ask. Ma'am Cherry, how's our learning for today? Kamusta po ang ating learning for today? Ma'am Che? Or si Ma'am Regina. Yan. Ma'am Regine. Thank you, Sir Walis Tingting. How's our learning? Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. Go ahead.
Thank you so much, sir. I learned a lot.
Thank you very much po. Yes, Sister Mai. What can you say? You want to say something, sir? Bago ka mag-out? Naka-out na ata. Ayan. Thank you, Ma'am Princess. So I hope you enjoy your time with me and see you on the next review. Pag may session po ulit ako. And keep in touch with the Teacher A Online Review Center for different learning coming from the different facilitators. With that, have a nice day ahead. God bless all. Bye.
Salamat, Sir Majid. Bye. Salamat
Thank
po.
you, sir. Thank you po, sir.
Thank you, Sir John Mark.
Yes po. God bless po, sir.
God bless. So I will ending now the meeting. Sir Iceborn and Cherry, AJ.